Hello, welcome to Evolve Let's Talk. I'm being joined by Mr. Josh Hall, who has committed early doors and purchased Evolve. Mr. Hall, I've played about 30 minutes of this beta, so you're going to be doing most of the talking here. Let's start by just setting the scene here. It was on my radar a little bit towards the end of last year. I think I might have mentioned it a couple of times, but I had genuinely no idea that you had your eye on this until you brought it up on the podcast. So what is it that drew you into Evolve?
Well, I've been kind of following it for quite a while. Obviously, you'd mentioned it a couple of times, and I knew that it was sort of on the horizon. And then the beta came out. I didn't get a chance to play it, and generally the feedback was pretty positive for it. So when it came out, I haven't had a new game in a while. I've kind of reached a natural conclusion on Destiny at the moment, so I was quite happy just to kind of pick that up as the next one on the pile to start having a go at.
Sure. So what, just for those that don't know, can you just give a brief overview of what Evolve is and what sort of the purpose behind it is?
Yeah, okay, so it's effectively it's a five player game, although you can play it as a solo aspect. You have 4 players that are hunters. Sure. And 1 player that acts as a monster. And then there's obviously multiple different game types where the objective is slightly different. So it'd be a 4-on-1 in all environments, but like I say, there's different objectives, different game types that you can go off, you can explore, do different things. The idea is that the monster will eat wildlife in order to gain strength, in order to evolve through to its next stage.
Yep.
And the hunters have to, for the most part, capture or kill the monster before it obviously has the chance to complete its objective.
Okay, so you mentioned that this was a 5-player sort of 4v1 multiplayer aspect. Would you say that it's best to only be enjoyed with friends, or is there an element in there for solo players if they're interested?
Well, I've had the game for a couple of days, and I've put quite a bit of play into both days. I've done probably 90% of my time has been spent playing it as a solo activity. So okay. I haven't done much of the online piece, purely because I didn't want to be that horrendous person that goes online with not a clue and just clogs it up and costs everyone their lives. Because the 4 characters, the 4 hunters that you are, if you're on the 4-player team, all have quite unique abilities. If it is very much a 4-person game. That said, the AI that are with the bots is more than is pretty good, to be fair. Yeah. And you can switch between characters whilst you're playing. So if you feel like one area is slacking off, then you can take over that area and do whatever it is that you wish to do with it.
So you can basically do an element of the multiplayer, but offline with bots taking the place of human beings, sort of.
Yeah, you always have bots in place of. The way that the whole game works really is you've either got quick play, which will obviously just put you into a game type of your choosing, or there is like a 5-day campaign which is called evacuation. And the idea of that is that you start off on day 1 with just a plain straight up match of what's called hunt, which would just be monster versus hunters. First one to kill the other team wins.
Sure.
And then the idea is that for each subsequent day after that, you would move on to a different mission. Now, depending on who wins that game, will change the starting parameters of the following mission. So if you win it as the hunter, then you will get a buff in the next game. Although it might increase the difficulty. So the whole idea is that it tries to keep it as balanced as possible, continually going on, and there is incentives to winning the game. And then the final game, day 5, would be kind of the winner takes all. Whoever wins that effectively wins the game.
Yes.
So, like I say, the idea of having the day-to-day, whoever wins a day gets an incentive for the following day, does kind of add that extra little kind of added. It makes it slightly less repetitive because
it's changing.
Yeah, exactly. And there is, I mean, they go on in the game about how there's 800,000 different combinations of different levels with different modifiers, etc. So, there's a bit of sort of variance between what you're doing. You're not likely to play 2 campaigns and have exactly the same results with exactly the same bits and pieces going on.
No. So just so we're clear, you say it's set over 5 days. That's 5 in-game days. That's not 5.
Yeah, no, that's 5 in-game days. That's five separate
rounds,
matches.
Essentially,
Yes, exactly. So the thing is, by doing that, it means that doing it as a solo thing, I just find. I mean, you can do it as a multiplayer thing as well, but it turns it into kind of a mini campaign in the solo piece as well, which kind of has kept me entertained for, like I say, the last couple of days at least.
And that's you playing offline completely. That's
Yeah,
bots, and you're
that's
just
me
playing.
just with bots. And I've switched it up. You can either choose to be, like, say, the monster or the team of hunters. And if you're the
Yeah.
hunters, you obviously switch between. So,
Does all this progress sort of, do you progress and level up? Is your offline experience being sort of built up somewhere to be used maybe on online one day? You unlocking new bits and bobs.
yeah.
How does the progression system work?
Well, effectively, everything that you do offline works towards just each character leveling up. So
Okay.
the four different classes you can level up to certain stages. And once you've achieved sort of four basic parameters, which are based around the specialty of
Yeah.
each individual class, you will unlock different bits and pieces. Now, there are 12 characters in total which you can unlock.
Okay.
So you start off with the basic four, and then there is a further 8 to unlock by leveling up each character and each character type.
Got ya.
And it's the same with the monster, that you start off with the basic monster, and there's a further 2 to unlock as you progress that along and as you level up. And it's done by different things, just basically by being versatile within your character class. In other words, if you just go out with the monster and you just bash everything all the time,
Yeah.
you'll never progress it beyond a certain point,
Yes.
and you won't unlock the things that are later in the game. So it rewards you for sort of exploring and doing different bits and pieces and trying everything out.
Okay, got ya. So one of the sort of, not the criticism, one of the points that people have raised about Evolve is that they're worried that it might not have the legs to give you a long sort of fulfilling online experience. You've been playing offline. Do you think if you switch to online with you just playing on your own, you're going to get enough out of this, or is it something where you're going to have to sort of try and bring us into it to play and get a better experience by using and playing with your friends?
Obviously, it would be a really, really good one to play as a group.
As most games are, let's be fair.
Yeah, it'd be really good to play as a group of maybe sort of anything to 3 to 5 would be really good fun. I have played a couple of games online, as I mentioned. I wanted to go online and not be the one that was the complete moron, and it turns out that a lot of the people that I was paired up with were, in fact,
The
complete morons.
Yeah.
So it is quite tricky at times, but I think that's probably because we're only on day 3 of the game being released,
Yeah.
or day 2 of the game being released, and I don't think people have quite got to grips with what's going on. It's as the monster playing as a 1, you can afford to kind of go off and do your own thing, obviously,
Yeah.
and you're only reliant on yourself. Whereas if you're part of the team of 4, you really need to work and operate as a team, which
Yes.
obviously, if you've got like a maverick on your team, you're just going to lose straight away. So it can be quite tricky. It would be good to play with others. That said, obviously, as it gets played a bit more by more people, and hopefully as people improve, I think that will start to change.
Yes.
And you can always weight it so that it favours the hunters more before the game starts, if you wanted to make it so that you had that advantage going into the game.
Yeah, and let's not forget either. I mean, I imagine there's going to be an online community bustling with clans to join and things like that. So if you were playing, if it was just you that ended up in this game, if you wanted to get serious and join an actual team, I'm sure there's going to be options out there for you to go down that path and join up with people that are online that are sort of like-minded and want to have a serious game rather than a few mavericks. So probably, I imagine that scene will start to progress as the game sort of rolls out and gets more popular.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the kind of 2 games. Well, the main game that I'm comparing it to at the moment is Titanfall, because you can tell that it's predominantly been aimed at an online market.
Yeah.
Whereas Titanfall was obviously purely online. This has introduced a slight sort of offline solo campaign as well. So I think it's kind of got the one up there. But you're absolutely right in that they've released an app for the Evolve thing as well. So, you can find, like you say, it's exactly what it is. It's kind of a social area where you can meet other people, and you can pair up with people just in the way that I have on Destiny as well, where I've met up with people on there and formed alliances with people to do the slightly tricky missions on there. I'm sure that before too long I'll be able to find people to play with on Evolve if I wanted to, just to get involved with and have a go.
Yeah, I think that's a key point. Everyone's saying that you have to be playing with friends and people you know, but as always, with all online games, there's always a community there for people to join in and deal with like-minded gamers. Okay, you probably don't know them personally, but I'm sure that you can.
You're social enough, you'll be able to,
you can pick
absolutely.
up there. Well, I think that'll wrap things up here, Hall. Thanks for coming on and chatting about Evolve. And I think maybe what we'll do is in a few podcasts' time is check in with you again and see how you're getting on with it. to see if your opinions changed or whether it's accelerated, and we'll chat about it more probably in a few episodes' time.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Look forward to it.
Excellent. Right, the rest of you guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It's game over for now, but thanks very much for your time, and ta-da.
Bye.